Hello, everybody. I was just trying to set up my handy dandy glasses. We are getting ready to start. It is 6:21 p.m. and officially we will start at 6:30. But if you are logging in, I want to go ahead and hear from you. Let me know what you're up to tonight. And then also my assistant Casey will be logging in as well and leaving her comments. So that way we can test the comments for you guys. And yeah, I'm very excited. We did our first live last week, and I'm very thankful to those who were there live, and then also for those of you who watched the replay. So I'm very happy about that. One of the things that I've been doing, let me move my mic, is just doing a ton of research and, of course, playing around with new technology and other wonderful things in this world. So, what a perfect time to be alive for many, many reasons. And I know certain things might be a disappointment, but other things are just so utterly wonderful that it's hard to say pessimistic. So, I'm always been a pretty, I guess, optimistic person. And so, look, and so is Casey. She's very excited. So, I think Casey's like an optimist like me. So, I like that. Awesome. So, Casey's going to invite some of y'all to come on here as well. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to comment because um, both Casey and I will be making sure that we address any comments later on. Now, if it's been some time, I think LinkedIn will probably still alert us if that's the case. But just in case, you can always send me a private message on LinkedIn. And I'm always happy to hear from people. Trying to stay connected, of course, and one of the biggest things that I try to teach people in my career as a business developer is that relationship building, and I know most of you who are out there who are very experienced know this very well, and taking the time to build relationships and, of course, just helping one another is, fulfilling. And so today we'll be answering questions. So this is our live Q&A. I'm here mainly to do a couple of things. See what kind of questions are out there and what people are noodling through. Is there a common thread to the questions that are being asked? Is it new or is it something that it's still a conundrum for people after many years of being in business? So whether you're a startup or you've been around for a while, there's always new challenges coming up. And part of me learning and getting better at what I do is giving people that opportunity to have conversation. Now, I know with this live, it's a little bit, one way. Oh, and there's Lisa. Hello. Hello, Lisa. Now, Lisa and I are going to be talking about some fun things tomorrow. So, thank you, Lisa, for hitting me up and see where we can put our brains together for certain things. So, I love that. So, anytime anybody out there is, um, you know, into collaborations and other types of community building, I'm always open for that. So, if you already have a question and you don't wanna lose it, feel free to put it in. I know that we're still waiting a couple minutes or like Lisa, feel free to introduce yourself in the comments. I am, repurposing this into YouTube, so that can be another way to kind of get you all out there as well in the algorithm stratosphere. So as you're commenting, we see your name, then people who are watching this on different channels also get to learn a little bit more about you. So Lisa, feel free, drop in your awesome things, contacts, whatever you all want. It's not just my platform right now. I really expect that, anyone here live, I'd love to like get you out there and push you out. So think of it as your own type of thing as well. Now, this reminds me of a long time ago. So I went to college at a small private women's college in Virginia, Sweetbriar College, and that's where I graduated. And that's where I started my business in the year 2000. And one of the things that I got into over there was being a radio DJ. So it was similar to this setup where I always volunteered. No one wanted the time slot of the Saturday night, but because I played tennis, I was in the varsity tennis team in college, and so I figured, that would be good downtime because I've already been out and about playing games, matches, etc. So Saturday nights were not, um, for me, I wasn't all about partying or anything. I was a little nerdy, still am a little nerdy. And so I said, you know what? I'll take that time slot and I'll even take the early Sunday morning time slot. So most people were like, no, I don't want to touch that time slot. But I was like, yeah, let me at it. Music I used to play on the air. I loved Dave Matthews at the time. I graduated in the year 2000. So Dave Matthews was huge around that time. And yeah, there was, The Coors. Not sure if people know who that is, but anyhow, this reminds me of that time when I was DJ. All right, so let's see here. It's about 3 minutes underway, and there is a publication that Casey and I were sharing, and I'll go ahead and share that link early in case you want it. But check this out. It's AI productivity free, so it's a free download. Paperform.co, not .com, it's .co. I really like Paperform. Some of y'all may be out there looking for a platform to use for easy forms, etc. I do have an affiliate code, but I always forget these things. So if you want my affiliate code, I think you get a discount. Just private message me on LinkedIn and I'll grab it from the platform and then send it over to you. I use it for so many things, and especially if you're trying to make a very quick landing page, Paperform has been super easy, and they've updated a couple of really cool things too on that platform. So user friendly. I love that kind of stuff. So, ooh, thanks, Lisa. So, Lisa, I wonder if you'll show the whole thing. Yeah, and I'll peek above here. Hello. So, Lisa says, "Hi, everyone. Lisa Burton, and I specialize in helping businesses streamline and scale efficiently." Ah, totally what I love. Okay. My focus is optimizing processes and finding practical, resource efficient solutions that address core challenges and drive growth. Whether it's cutting down bottlenecks, improving workflows, or creating scalable systems, I'm all about making businesses run smoother and grow stronger. Excited to connect with all of you. I love it. It's like you're my business twin, Lisa. And so Lisa's website is burtonbusiness.com. Yeah, it's fantastic. And I'll leave this up for a little bit. I have a networking group here locally in Yorktown, Virginia, and we I'm the chair for the group, and then my vice chair is also a strategist. And so we don't believe in competition. We actually have done services for several companies together. Cliff Savage is fantastic, and I just love being around other like-minded people, and it's so cool because we keep each other sharp, right? So if y'all are in the same business out there, let's get to know one another. We can't serve everybody, and not everybody is our perfect match. And so it's good to know others out there who do very great things. Lisa does not do marketing. Yeah, and I have a really hard marketing slant, Lisa, on my business development side. Yeah, so that would be kind of somewhere where we can maybe look at like where some commonalities and where some differences are. So that's very cool. But yeah, I think this world is so big. There's so much we can do together. Oh, and Clifton. Yeah, Cliff is fantastic. And did you know that Cliff also is a line dancer? So, and I teach ballroom. Part of the things that I love is getting out there in different ways. And I guess I'm a teacher. Like if I learn something, I got to teach it. So for the USA Dance, based in Williamsburg, Virginia, they have monthly dances. And for this month, on November 30th, I'm going to be teaching the cha-cha over at the Moose Lodge in Hampton/Newport News. So if anyone's local and wants to learn the cha-cha, come learn from me and I'll teach you some cha-cha. Okay. Well, it's that time, and I really appreciate you all. I appreciate Lisa and anybody else on here. Casey, let me know how many people are watching at the moment. I can't see that on this StreamYard live stream, but that's always a curious thing for me. And then I'm going to start with Joshua Morgan Sweeney had asked earlier, looking to strengthen, and I kind of shortened this, so this is not exactly what Joshua posted. I had to condense it because for some reason on the banners here, I'm only given certain characters. But anyhow, so the main gist is looking to strengthen brand by using communities such as LinkedIn groups, Reddit, etc. He also said Reddit groups. What's your recommendation on best practices to build that type of presence and the tools to assist the process? So, such a wonderful question. I am a big believer in building community and having that kind of stuff um, really around any brand because it's your audience, right? So, strengthening the brand by showcasing love to your audience, you can use whatever groups you feel comfortable with. So, one could be if you are the main holder of the group, meaning you have ownership of the group, then you really have to curate the experience for the group and showcase like your skills through that kind of touch point. But I think your question may be leaning towards if there's LinkedIn groups, Reddit groups, other types of groups out there, what can you do to strengthen your brand in those communities? So, one thing I know is consistency is key. And some groups, especially like in Facebook, if you think that your brand may impact a group on Facebook, some of the people who've set up their really big groups give you access to broadcasting to those groups for a nominal fee. Some fees are around $30, some fees could range up to $200 monthly, and which will give you pretty much like moderator rights, and they would let you post or even teach. I've collaborated with some groups where I've done like a group takeover. So that I thought that was pretty fun. There's mom entrepreneur groups that I've broadcasted into. There's a huge group of women entrepreneurs, the Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs by Christina Rowe. And that one's pretty cool. And you could pay to become one of their VIPs so that you can like set yourself up better that way. I think just posting as a regular poster, it does get lost in the traffic of the feed. So it's hard work to try to like really nurture a group that you don't own by just posting. But you can, like before, some posts would go viral pretty quickly, but because of the algorithm changes, if you're on Facebook, and the reason I'm harping on that because I know a lot of people use that, there could be the danger of being blocked by the algorithm, because it feels like you're spamming the platform if you're getting a lot of comments. Before it was like, "Let's get a ton of comments and, like, let's really blow this up," and it would work, and there was no penalties to that. Now it's frowned upon, and, they don't like that kinda traffic because it invites a lot of other people spamming in the comments as well. So it's a little tougher for these groups, especially if they get infiltrated by spammers to really kind of stand out. So I always try to think like, what's the best way, even if I have to buy in to have that a little bit more control or broadcasting right, I think it's worth it. So if it's LinkedIn groups, I just noticed that sometimes people aren't as active on LinkedIn as they would be in other platforms. Reddit, depending on the topic, could really be a great thing because you also got to think in some of these groups, especially like Reddit, it could be the long game that you play on there. You never want to spam any of these platforms. And so just being known as a quality resource is going to be huge. So if you're on any platform, take a look at your profile page because if you, let's say, created a really nice topic or asked a really great question in a comment, people want to look you up and they're normally going to go straight to your profile. So, one way to maximize your brand is make sure that the profile itself looks good and is impressive so that when they discover you in those roundabout ways, that would be a impactful thing for your business. And now, if you're looking at best practices, we mentioned consistency, and I would use some kind of tracker. Some people will create a simple spreadsheet. Notion is a great platform that I love, and it's not always easy to figure out because it's one of those things that you kind of create. But there's plenty of templates that they have on there, and lots of beautiful people creating content on YouTube on how to use Notion. So let's pretend that I have a list on my Notion spreadsheet, then I can go and schedule when I'd want to make an impact. I think more than 10 groups would be overkill, maybe more than 5 groups too. Like if you can't work one group consistently, I wouldn't even attempt trying to make a list of like 3 or more because you have to have that muscle. Because none of those things, and I know plenty of people who have like tons of groups that they're included into, but they can't spend the time into those groups, and the thing that I see is that there's a lot of people in those same groups that are doing the same thing. So you don't really build relationships, and then you're out of sight, out of mind. If people forgot that they even signed up for that group, then you're not really building, uh, intentionally as you could be. Now, one of the other best practices would be if you notice there's people that you can help there or your brand really resonates with, try to move deeper into a conversation with them and always have gifts. Like come bearing gifts. I've always been told that in just every general sense. I had a great roommate in college. Shout out to Gregor. She was really into like sending thank you notes and everything like that. And she would teach me like these wonderful etiquette things. And that goes a long way. So if someone creates a post, they're looking for love on those groups. So why don't you say, thank you for this post? It really got me thinking about something. And then you'll probably open a door that you probably wouldn't have if you didn't comment or if you just kind of rushed to comment and just said something. But if you were like, thank you and showing gratitude, I think that that's a really cool way to kind of build up who you are and then also the ways people are open to connecting with you. So we talked about tools such as Notion. There are different things that you could do on a reminder point of view. So you could schedule time in your calendar and ask a AI to help you with a reminder. So with that, hopefully I gave you some good tips there. So thank you for sharing that, Joshua. And yeah, I'm looking for more questions, etc. I know that Casey will be posting some things, but here's some comments that we missed earlier. So Lisa has a background in real estate, and she also has a degree in economics and business. I love it. I love it. And thank you for saying you're having fun. Okay. We have about 3 people. I love it. And then Joshua, yay. Oh, there you go. I love this question. Would you recommend focusing on building our own LinkedIn group instead of promoting in others when your time and energy is limited? I think instead of a group, um, you might want to think about publication. So I really enjoy the algorithms right now that LinkedIn has when it comes to newsletters and business pages. So if you haven't set up the business page or if you're not giving it regular attention, I would say go ahead and start trying that because the algorithms is really pushing it out, and I'm seeing a lot more notifications on that. And then you have the ability to invite in bulk at one time for those pages and those newsletters. So I think that they're kind of telling you where on their platform that you can really focus. I also think that if you're looking to do any kind of regular thing, you could check out Substack. I've been telling people about Substack. It's like if a newsletter and Twitter had a baby. So with that, there's some broadcasting things you can do in Substack. There's communities that are being built in Substack, and they seem to be very engaging because the crowd there is just a little bit different. I'm not sure exactly what the particulars of the brand is, Joshua, that you're talking about. I know that we had a webinar about nonprofits, and I know you're in the nonprofit world, and I was suggesting that for some nonprofits, they can look at starting a Substack about their nonprofit and create like really engaging stories, brand stories about the background of the nonprofit and just the mission of the nonprofit, maybe kind of highlighting certain wonderful events or people that's involved with it. And it's really a growing platform, and there's ways that you can host your own podcast in there as well, or turn some of your audio into blogs and all these wonderful things that you could cross over with just one platform, and it's free. So I think that would be a great place to explore as well. Oh, thanks, Casey. Yep. So I put that up there. Yeah, so I appreciate that question. I know that you want to maximize your time. I'm a big believer in having a batch schedule. Casey has been working closely with me, and I rattle off a bunch of thoughts about things, and it's helping me have somebody receiving those ideas. So I'm not sure where you do most of your brainstorming, Joshua. I think it's good to do that on a regular basis and see like where you can either hand some things off to the team or where things could start falling in line with AI. So I do want to cover a little bit of AI today because I've been messing around with it and I've been showing some of my clients some cool tools. And you did ask about the tools earlier. And I wrote some down that yes, hold on. Reach it. Okay. I still write in a notebook, even though I nerd out on a computer all the time. I love writing things down. Okay. Um, there's a lot of things that you could test on the Google platform, by the way. And once they get unleashed fully, you're at least familiar with some of the tools that are out there. And if you go to labs.google, then you can explore like what's coming up and some tools that may already be useful. There's Illuminate, there's Notebook.lm that you can look at. But one of these that was really fascinating to me recently was the Speechmatics. So speech, then Matics, Matics.com. They have a really cool like um, chat AI that may be very useful for some of your businesses. But if let's say you're training an agent for your brand to kind of help extend the touch points that you have with potential clients or existing clients, I think that would be a fascinating tool to consider having a uh, kind of live how would we call it? Conversational, chatbot. It's more than that. So you definitely gotta check it out. Let me see if I can type it in here so you all can look at it. Right now, it's free to check it out. Um, speechmatics.com. I think I spelled that right, and here it is. So look at it, see what you think about it. DM me once you've checked it out and tell me whether or not you think it's cool. I think that would be very interesting to see how you all might utilize some of the new technology that's out there. And yeah, Casey earlier mentioned to me about Gemini, and funny enough, I was Gemini is also on the Google platform. I was already installing it into my email stuff and also talking to it on my phone, and very fascinating. So I got on the treadmill for about 10 minutes and I told it to have a conversation with me and keep track of 10 minutes, which was pretty cool. So I would ask like periodically, well, how much time is left on this treadmill? It's like, you have 3 minutes left. Like, "Oh, okay, let's talk about something that would be good for 3 minutes." And it actually made my treadmill experience go by faster and it was fantastic. So, first time using it like that, it was great. Casey says, +1 with Notebook LM. Ooh, tried using it to create an AI podcast together with HeyGen. It was amazing. HeyGen, man, that platform is getting really impressive. That's where you can clone yourself, Joshua. So, Lisa, I don't know if you ever thought about cloning yourself, but it could be the wave of the future, having our own AI clones for sure. HeyGen is doing some really fascinating things. So, but yeah, as Casey says, feel free to introduce yourself. So, I am going to be putting this, and Casey's helping me put this on YouTube. So, in case anyone watches this there, and I'm probably going to share it in some of my groups on Facebook too. So, um, yeah, that way they can discover you, figure you out. Maybe you could be a resource for some wonderful people out there. So thanks for that reminder, Casey. Okay, Casey, I know we had some other questions in the queue. So if you want to post that, or I can grab those real quick. But yeah, I think there's so many crazy innovations right now that it's like Lisa said, not sure if the world is ready. But here's the thing about being an early adopter, right? So I'm laughing with you because it's one of those things that I'm excited, yet I'm terrified at the same time. And that's really fascinating right now that we have this world in this transition mode. I definitely see it as a big benefit, the technology for some of the businesses that I consult now. And then I also see it on the other side of things for some businesses that I feel like you might get super disrupted if you don't at least have this awareness. So let's at least have awareness, even though we might not fully adopt things yet. Just having awareness, I think, is smart. So Casey found a question from Quora, but hold on. I think we got something for Christina. Hey, Christina. Christina's also a great instructor. Thanks for being out here. And yeah, let us know when your next thing is happening. I think you do yours virtually as well. Is that correct? If I remember that correctly. And she has a new hairdo that I was like, "Ooh, girl, almost didn't recognize her." I actually didn't recognize her because of her new hairdo. Okay, Casey says, "What strategies can I use to stand out from other competitors while still feeling authentic and true to my values?" Okay, yeah. So I know that. Thanks for echoing this and finding this question because there has been a lot of times where people have come to me because they were told to do something, right? From maybe somebody who was trying to help in the marketing field, et cetera, but doesn't feel authentic to them. But then also, there's this culture sometimes where people are telling you that hustling is a good thing. And then for some people, that may not feel authentic to be like in hustle mode all the time. So, one, I think you have to really understand yourself and who you are in the marketplace. And there's room for everybody. And to feel strong in that foundation and not let a lot of outside things dictate how you want to be internally. Um, Now, if there's outside things like AI, you can use it to your advantage, right? So you can actually feed platforms like that and ask it to help you with some ideas and brainstorming. So let's say you want to project something that's core, like it's true to your core. If you know that, and if you hold to that, your prompting on these different platforms and creating your AIs will actually be much more, intentional and true to your brand as well. I think standing out from the competition right now, since a lot of people copy one another, it's not that hard to stand out if you can feel authentic and really shine with that authenticity, right? Because people can sense when you're very connected to what you're saying and by just being, like, enthusiastic, and I wouldn't feel enthusiastic if I was forced to be something that I'm not. So, I think it all wraps together into that. Um, so Christina says, she had, virtual training earlier, and she'll be doing another one in December. Christina, if you don't mind putting the date, because then we'll, share that as well, and, if you wanna DM me that link later, or actually, I don't know if there's a direct link to your stuff, share it here. Um, Joshua says, "Here for my day job at insidephilanthropy.com." Oh, I love that website. That's such a great website name. Insidephilanthropy.com, where I'm the director of business development and marketing. But yes, as you mentioned, I'm heavy in the nonprofit sector, which I bring all tools and skills to organizations I work with. Thanks so much. I love Joshua's picture. So with the coffee mug, that's fantastic. Who says we got to have like a serious LinkedIn headshot? And that's authentic. That smile is like $1,000,000 and it just makes you feel good, like looking at Joshua's face. So that's a good way to stand out. I always tell people, like, don't be afraid to use your face in your marketing because we are humans. And part of the things that draw us to other humans is remembering people's faces. And this is just a wonderful picture, Joshua. I don't know if you've been commended for your picture, but hopefully you have been, and I pat you on the back for that. Casey says, I know. I know I need to delegate more, but how do I find and train the right people I can trust with my business? Okay. Ooh, yeah. And you know what? Some of these answers, I'm going to ask Casey to grab my answers from here and then let's stick it in Quora, right? Like I love going to Quora and helping other people there. And people like sometimes are researching a specific question. And I'm thinking that even some of these bots that are scraping the internet, they're probably going to go to places like Reddit and Quora. As a matter of fact, I think they really do and figure out like what's being asked right now. And if you're giving the answer on those platforms, it's just another way to kind of point back to you and you being a resource. And so I just think it's a win to be able to do that. So Casey says, oh, so the core that question that she pulled up, I know people need to delegate more, but how do I find and train the right people I can trust with my business? Okay, so finding the right people. One of my clients, I'll give him a shout out, fantastic entrepreneur, Chuck Worley here in the Hampton Roads area. What I really love about his company, he does Worley's Home Services, and they have just a great culture. And part of what makes it a great culture is that the leadership is very firm in their expectations, and they have the 10 commandments that they've built that they adhere to, and everybody who comes in and gets trained adheres to. So if the culture of your company is good, then part of the expectation will resonate as you're looking for people and they hear about your company and they come and join your company, then it's easier for them to fall into the right place and they can sense whether or not they're going to be a good fit for your organization. But let's say it's just you and you don't have already an existing team and you're looking to scale. So I think you have to know, like, where your boundaries are. Part of what I hear from people as far as trusting people is that, they made assumptions on how this person could behave or thrive in their business, but one, maybe didn't provide the right training, or two, didn't explain a lot of what's necessary to run that business. And I would always kind of point it back to the person responsible for being the captain of the project or the company to be the one that should have the most clarity to train and explain to somebody coming into the team. So that is what Cliff Savage does actually. So if you're looking for a fantastic consultant who's training teams out there, I really love Cliff. Lisa knows Cliff as well. And I just think that that's a wonderful thing to really take assessment about your business, like boundaries, personal boundaries. And if you're delegating, what are you delegating? And are you explaining that clearly? And are you leaving room for input? Because I think sometimes if there's a clash already going on, then someone who may have been trustworthy in the beginning may not feel as compelled to be of service if there's a lot of like butting heads. And a lot of times when you say right people I can trust with my business, that tends to be people who are wary of others for maybe they've gotten burned in the past, etc. Take note and really say, like, whose fault was that ultimately? Is there something I can change about the way I explain the job position? Or is there something I can change in regards to my expectations on who should be in this position? So having that type of assessment and then, of course, get feedback from others. I always like to find people through referrals. If, let's say, someone really can vouch for people, do not ignore references. They're there for a reason. Don't just say, "Oh, they listed some references," and actually don't reach out to the references. I feel like you have to do your due diligence when working with people. And you're not married to them. So if it doesn't quite work out, then you also have to be willing to let go, right? And then depending on what state you're in, Virginia is a right to work state. So right to hire, right to fire type of thing. Just know what the rules are in regards to that. So it's a process finding people. But I think if you have great clear guidelines, if you know that you're building a culture within your business and you're pretty firm with your boundaries, those are the things that I would definitely lean on for that. Lisa says, I often suggest getting current employees to find other good people that would be a good fit. Exactly. Because they have more of that insider type of thing. And if you're out there looking for where to work, um, I love, when people connect and kinda say, "Is there somebody here that I can talk to that's already done this job?" Or, it's also a good feeling if there's that crossing over. So let's say someone's, um, retiring, and then they give some space to have that overlap instead of waiting for that person to be done and then entering somebody in. That kinda overlap is, I think, valuable for real. So, Lisa, that's a great suggestion for sure. And of course, maybe getting current testimonials of people who are on your team now. Maybe you're not looking, but something that you can maybe use in the future just to showcase the vibe, maybe getting some videos of that. All right. So Casey is placing this question. My market is getting saturated with competitors. How do I maintain my unique position and stay relevant? Good one right there. But I see that Lisa says, especially nursing staff, for instance, they know who is good. Absolutely. And you don't want to mess with some of those fields where it's the caring and empathy is important. Yeah, you want to find those really well aligned people in those industries. So that one's very, very big, CNAs, etcetera. So back to what Casey posted, saturated with competitors. How do I maintain unique position and stay relevant? Okay. I think when you're looking at the lens of who's out there, who's your competitor, do you really know that they're your competitor? There's sometimes when I go into a situation and people mention that and I say, well, name your top three competitors and what makes them a competitor. For some markets, it's easy. So let's say you are you have a soft washing business and you know that, other people do the same soft washing business. Um, that's real, but is there maybe segments that they don't do versus, what you could do in as far as localities go? Sometimes, if you're saying that it's saturated in my locality, then, it could be, that you have to see, like, what are they doing for marketing, and is there, like, any gaps in their marketing that you can, like, pick up from? If they really do truly own the market there, look through the, reviews, right? Like, is there something that they're missing that people aren't giving them 5 stars for that you can definitely highlight in your own practice so you can stand out? So if people are, like, saying something about another company that's potentially your competitor, and they're saying things like, "It took a long time to get them to the booking," or "They didn't show up on time." Like, if it's a timely issue, you can then start marketing saying, "Are you looking for a service provider that will be right on time for the appointment that you booked? Then consider us." Then people will be like, "Whoa, that's what I've been looking for this whole time." So can you find what's missing in the market from other people? And, is there things so let's say it's online. I hear this a lot. People are like, "There's so many people online. There's so much noise. There's lots of people who do what I do." Kind of like, let's say you're a business developer like me and Lisa. Well, we might not have the same strengths and we might not have the same backgrounds. We might have the same title, but you can really find your niche, and that could be another fun thing to consider. Do you know your niche? Have you investigated things that people are too busy to do? So let's say if my niche is helping artists, right? And it's yours as well. And we're thinking, oh no, are we competition for each other? Well, maybe I really like visual artists who are in the mid portion of their career. Maybe you like startup artists who are just starting to do their first show and you're helping them develop a business plan for that. So there's so many notches down there that you can really kind of look into more specifically. And it's actually pretty exciting when you do that. So instead of thinking, oh my gosh, there's this crowded space of a ton of people and competitors, well, can we chop it up and see, like, where are the nuances? And then where can you concentrate for a little bit with that nuance? So I'll give you an example. Um, I I have done lots of many fun things, and we have had, like, a couple of brick and mortars where we taught wellness, and if you consider that, there's a lot of people that say, "Well, there's already so many gyms and wellness places in the area." But not everybody was teaching the same things or had the same qualifications for programs. And, one of the things that I really had loved in the past through my own experiences with Alexander technique and Pilates and all that combo. So we created a really great 90-day transformational program that was just specified for that. And I really want to just concentrate on, like, 15, 20 people. And we maxed out on that program and we concentrated for a little bit of time. And it was so fascinating to have done that really niche down fitness thing instead of saying, we teach wellness. Well, we have a really concentrated program that combines Pilates and Alexander technique that's going to get you in shape in 90 days. So it was really cool to do that. And people were like, I'm in, right? There was no question because they weren't comparing us to everybody else because there was something very niche down about that program. So that was really fun to do. Lisa says, I'm good with ADHD owners figuring out how to do what they hate. Oh, girl, I have some people for you. Yeah, that's great, right? Because 'Cause I'm too, um, like, there's something about the way I think that may clash with people who have ADHD. um, you know, Maybe I like people who just have, like, a really kinda streamlined focus or something, but that's huge. There's a lot of, especially women who have gone undiagnosed with ADHD out there and are thinking like, "Why am I feeling so overwhelmed? What's going on? I wanna be productive, my heart's in it, I'm very passionate about what I do, but then things aren't just sticking." You probably need Lisa in your corner because maybe you don't even recognize your own ADHD, and because Lisa's so honed in with that, she would be a way better fit than me, who I'm off, thinking of other ways to serve, especially for those who have like huge teams, right? Or wants to build teams. And it's different, it's a different issue. So that's fantastic, Lisa. I think that's a huge thing that you're doing. Figuring out how to get away from dreading tasks that create bottlenecks and preventing growth. Yeah, it's like a mental like wrestling game for some of the people that are out there. Like, they know, like, I have a best friend that she said, "I'm true ADHD," and, it's a conundrum that toils around in here. So, not only is Lisa unlocking your business, but Lisa's also unlocking your brain and things that, you're avoiding versus conquering, and that's a unique skill, definitely a unique skill. And, there you go, number 1 marketing tip. Okay, well, yeah, we'll get to that. But that yeah, I'm loving, just what's being brought up here and just all the great scenarios out there that we can all come together and do, right? So, um awesome, oops, sorry, just clicking. I'm clicking a bunch of everything, but so so good. I love that discussion. Okay, so what's your number 1 marketing tip? Ooh, I wanna know, like, from some of you all, like, do you have something that was like an aha moment for your marketing, tip? And then Casey, let's put the answer in Reddit too, like, once we have that. So my number 1 marketing tip would be, don't be afraid to try something very new, right? So I think sometimes we get into the same marketing steps or we follow somebody else's marketing steps. But if there's maybe something that you just have a wild hair about, okay, let's try it out. So, um, yeah, I just think it's fun to try new things and, back to Chuck Worley, I'm gonna tag him on this video, but back to Chuck Worley, someone gave him an orange coat, so his branded colors are orange and green, and then he started wearing it everywhere and pairing it up with other things like his shoes, and it was really wild and unique and, just trying it out, and people kept complimenting him on, like, being on brand. So fast forward, he now has a mastermind called Always Be Branding, and it came from just trying it out, like, trying something new. What if I wore my brand colors every day? Like, what would people think of it, and how could I maximize that? Such a unique idea. It's super cool, that it actually turned into a whole new segment of things that he can, maneuver and help people with, right? So we did an Always Be Branding workshop, and none of that would have been done if it wasn't for that one unique idea. So think outside the box, and maybe if there's like some wild suggestions out there, why not? Like at least attempt it because you can always do something else. Right now, part of what I'm seeing out there that's really super unique and memorable is that what is that banana baseball or banana team? They're oh, why can't I think of the name right now? So I don't know if Lisa or Joshua or Christina, do you know what I'm talking about? It's like a baseball team, and they do crazy antics. They're wearing yellow. Banana ball? There's, like, even the firefighter league or something, but it's like they dance in the outfield, and they're, like, doing some crazy stuff, and they play really great baseball, and it's just so unique that there's a lottery. There's a lottery to even get a ticket. It's sold out everywhere they go. Oh, Christina, thank you. Savannah Bananas. What like, marketing, if you wanna study marketing right now, study Savannah Bananas. Like, everybody's like like, just it's going viral, people want to be there, sold out. There's a lottery to just get a ticket. Isn't that crazy? But they're doing something unique. They're standing out in the market. They are making it fun and inclusive. All of these words that does that resonate with your brand? You know, like if you look at yourself and you see how you're projecting out there, what are you doing that's fun, unique, and different? And I like the word fun. Lisa actually posted the word fun earlier, right? Like, because that's a great word, fun. Like we should anything you do in your business plan, fun. And then in your marketing, fun. Maybe that's my really big tip is the fun. Christina's new hair, fun. I love it. Okay, so okay, good one. Another good one from Reddit. What are some fresh, actionable ways to create consistent engagement on social media? Fresh, since we're talking about fun and fresh, actionable ways to create consistent engagement on social media. I'm really liking, like, voice messaging right now. You know what I mean by that? Where you are sending your voice it's so someone's birthday, um, if you're talking about engagement, and engagement can be in the ways we connect with one another personally. So, I like leaving, like, little voice clips if it's someone's birthday, just hold that thing down on, like, their Facebook Messenger and just be like, "Hey, see, it's your birthday. Hope it's a good one. Enjoy your day. Happy birthday." I have a friend that likes to sing to people happy birthday to you in the voice messaging. I just think that that's fresh. Like people go, "Oh, you took the time to record your voice. That's wonderful." Literally took less than even typing it sometimes. Record your voice. There's even video replies you can do. Sometimes if it's in a thread and I'm like, I can't really explain this by typing it out. I'll do a little quick video and then attach it to the comments. And then people get to know my vibe too, but they recognize my face more. And then I can get the thought out because sometimes some thoughts are best done non-verbally, right? When we're like, making faces like that, or yes, or you should do this. All of this body language, we're kind of missing that with a lot of posts, too much static things. So show some life, be fresh in ways that's like organic in that sense. So that's a really good question. Um, you should be pants on fire. Yes. If your pants are not on fire, something might be wrong, okay? And it's okay to feel this lull. So you should be pants on fire, do your business. It helps. It really helps to have your pants on fire because like me, I'm a mom of 5 kids And there's just certain days where you're just like, "What is going on right now? Like, how am I gonna get all these things done and still have time for me?" But one thing that gets me excited, and it's my ikigai, is my business. Like, I'm doing all the things that I love, and it really makes me feel like I'm on fire. And so that's a great statement. That should be on a T-shirt, Lisa. Or that would be a fun book to read. Lisa, you should write a book about your you should be pants on fire for your business. Like, that would be a fun book to read. Okay, last question. We're, right at that time. It's about 7:11, and so, all right, so not last question from everybody, but last question from, like, the online world that Casey's putting, but if you all still have questions, definitely throw it in there. But Casey posted, "What skills should I be developing as a leader to take my business to the next level?" Ooh, okay. So skills to develop as a leader. I see lots of leaders on here right now, so thank you for being here. I think listening is always a huge thing for any leader. If you're a leader, that means there's other people involved and it's not just you. Because if the question is, what should I be developing by myself to take my to take my business to the next level? But this one says leader. So I feel like if you're listening, then you are gaining more from that versus just always like, deliberately like spewing something. I like listening and then taking it to heart and then seeing how then in a team sense, we can all take it further, right? I might have some suggestions, but I'm always open to suggestions. So being an open-minded leader would be fantastic. Um, a lot of the leadership really comes first internally. So if you have things that you're struggling with, like ADHD, that Lisa helps with, then you would have to develop your strengths beyond like your current limitations. And that will then help you stay engaged and feel that pants on fire thing that you should feel for your own company. One thing, and I'm not sure if Lisa, you've faced this one, I don't wanna be more like, as a consultant, I don't wanna be more enthusiastic about your business than you are. Like, that's a really strange feeling when you have to convince people how cool their business is. Um, so if they haven't developed the enthusiasm again, because maybe they've been through some rough patches, maybe they're not as profitable as they thought they were. I can totally understand where a lot of the balloon will deflate because of, like, just lack of results. But that's when you open up and let somebody else in, bring on a consultant, find a strategist. Like, there's ways to rejuvenate your business, but it starts with the decision maker. And if you're developing, anytime you're doing that for yourself and moving to the next level is not that hard because you're not supposed to do it alone. Also, if you're in any kind of like really, really strenuous place with your mental health, like, feel free to discuss it with somebody. I do wanna recommend, Dr. Nicola Hall. She's local to me here, but I think she does telehealth as well, and so she is a fantastic counselor, especially for those who are in the working space, so, uh, definitely reach out to people. So that's the way you can develop. That's my biggest tip there. So Lisa says, "There you go. I love it." And then I think you were talking about the book idea. And then Lisa says, "I've had that and helped them to switch to what they're passionate about." Yeah. So because it's strange because in a way you're kind of like, well, how's this ever going to work if you're not as enthusiastic as your business is the person that's coming in as a consultant? And of course, we have to take into account that we're coming in all enthusiastic with all hope and promise because we're not living your day to day. So grain of salt there too, because you know, when you're the business owner, you're facing all of those issues and, but you can't stay in that place the whole time. I feel like, yes, there's the reality of business, but then there's also like that spirit of being hopeful, or else you're just gonna give in and, then you're probably not gonna wanna continue with the business. So then you gotta ask yourself, why Are you, like, still trying to make something fit that may not be a good fit for you in your personal life, etcetera? I was watching, Dave Ramsey's, Nightmare Kitchen. It just happened to be on. I was at an appointment and they had the TV on and he was there trying to help this restaurant business, and they were just so defensive and didn't want his help, and he literally said, "We're done here." Like, they didn't even get everything started, because they were just so defensive and they didn't want anything to be changed, but yet they were asking for his help, but because there was so much resistance that he was just like, I can't." He's like, "I've never really done this on the show. I'm walking away." And I feel like, if you're out there trying to serve somebody, maybe you're not a developer, maybe you're just trying to make a client, happy and they're not happy, or there's a teammate, since we talked about that today as well, and they're not happy and you've tried so many things to make them happy. Maybe it's time to cut ties, right? So the art of letting go is a huge thing as well for anybody, any business out there, and for those who are just overwhelmed. And it's fascinating sometimes when you let go of things and what comes about afterwards. Sometimes it's a good thing to face that frustration and then move on beyond that, and to kind of just say, I'm allowed to reinvent. I'm allowed to change my life. I'm allowed to look at my whole world differently. Many changes in my own business, and I'm so happy that I've been a somewhat freelance operator for so many years, since the year 2000. So coming up to 5 years, umbrella brand here, where I've incorporated so many of my passions. Some things are going to be the right season for me to do, like when I was doing a whole lot more choreography work out there. Um, but in other times, like, I know that there's a need right now for people to stay innovative and stay enthusiastic about what's coming around the corner. So I've kind of placed myself in the seat where I'm bringing ideas to the table, listening to ideas, listening to where everybody's um, things are happening, and seeing how I can definitely bring some fresh perspective to play. So, and he says, it is grit that I believe many miss when it comes to the qualities for business success. Well said. So that grit is something that, helps you stick to it, helps you stick to your goals, even when those days aren't so like easy, right? And if you have people like Annie, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, in your corner, it's so wonderful. I know Annie does great events as well here on LinkedIn. So definitely look at his profile and see what he has going on. Such a well connected person. Thank you for making a comment today in my live today. I really, truly appreciate that. But yeah, think about that. So, where in your life can you have more fun? And in your business brand, where can you throw in more fun? Where can you insert grit? And what kind of things help trigger that feeling of pants on fire, right? Like having a little bit of those combinations, I feel like you're going to be unstoppable. And getting all these words of wisdom from any Lisa, Joshua, Christina, and Casey, yeah, thank you all for your spirit. And the goal here is to take it beyond this live and distribute it different places. Um, if anyone's open to doing like any kind of interview work with me, I'd love to see that too. A little busy at this moment, but we'll fit it in somewhere. I guarantee that we can make it happen if we really put our heads together. But yeah, so I've done like podcasting interview stuff. I just love those because there's so much to learn and so much to thrive for. Um, and oh, shout out to one of my mentors, who I'm gonna see next week. I'm so excited. So be excited with me because I'm gonna go see the legendary Les Brown in Atlanta next week on Tuesday. We're doing a book signing. I'm in a book project with him, and we're doing this like really cool media thing in Atlanta. So I am very excited. If you look up Les Brown, he's legendary. He's done wonderful things for people, motivating them. So if you need some grit and motivation and feeling like your pants are on fire, then I would listen to some Les Brown. And you can maybe turn that on YouTube and hear him speak. He's had some epic um, presentations, and one of them was at the Georgia Dome, where he spoke to, like, thousands of people about just pulling yourself up and, like, not letting restrictions and what people say about you, like, keep you at a lower level. Like, you can rise up and you can make your dreams come true. So, with that said, I think that's where we'll end it tonight. Again, so appreciate you guys. I'm open to, like, supporting you all in your different, endeavors as well. Thanks for connecting and, love, heart. I know there's different hearts I can make here, but, you all are fantastic, and I will see you guys again very soon. So, thanks again for your time and energy. Bye for now.